Good afternoon. This is Harlem Network News coming to you live, and I'm Terry Wisdom, and we have an amazing program for you today. For those of you who are just joining, Harlem Network News is a new media platform. We started at the onset of COVID, and it's almost a year now. It's been quite an amazing journey. Harlem Network News is dedicated to assuring that Harlem and the Harlems of the world are informed. Often our stories are not told, so it's very critical the work that we're doing. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, harlemnetworknews.com, and we see the vision of Harlem Network News as the HNN of Harlem. So thank you very much. Today, I am just going to really start off this program by just giving a moment and a dedication to our new ancestor queen, Cicely Tyson, that transitioned at 96, just a few days after the launch of her book, Just As I Am. And she was truly a part of this community. So we are here to salute, bless, and follow her lead today. So I want to just let you know who is here with me because Cicely Tyson, I know that everybody has been watching the interviews, and she was just an amazing woman, an amazing person, a part of our life. There's a special place in my heart for her. I am a proud member of the Abyssinian Baptist Church, and Cicely Tyson was also a member. And she was not a member that, you know, we could just say she was a member. I mean, she was literally physically there very often. She preached at Women's Day. It's just so many things. Is just a reflection. So without further ado, I would like first to introduce and just share, Cicely Tyson had a school, and the school was in East Orange, New Jersey. And the school was a Cicely Tyson school for performing and the visual arts. Yes, right in East Orange, New Jersey. An amazing, amazing school. So we're going to reflect on Cicely Tyson today, but we're really going to share about her school and how it came about, why it came about. Many of the audience, and as I said, we're here to inform the Harlems of the world. We want everyone to know about all of the things that Cicely Tyson did. She was one of our foremost actresses, activists, but also really a person doing the work and the service in the form of giving back to our children, you know, and just to our community. So I have here with me Dr. George Faison. And Dr. George Faison is the director of the George Faison Firehouse Theater. But he, as you know, is a renowned choreographer, teacher, Drama Desk Award winner, Emmy Award winner, affiliated with Alvin Ailey Dance Company. And I'm going to let him speak for himself. But those are some of the accolades. I don't want to get it wrong. Okay, and then I'm going to let you talk in a minute, George. We also do have with us Reverend Rhonda Akanke McClean-Nur. And Reverend Rhonda is a interfaith minister. She is also a griot, a phenomenal actress, teacher, and she and Dr. George Faison work together with the Respect program, which they will share about that. So that was another program that worked with our young people, and there was an affiliation between the Respect program and Cicely Tyson School. Now, we also have with us one of the former students of Cicely Tyson School, and that is Safa Ismel Muhammad. And she was a former student. She is currently a senior at the New School, majoring in jazz and audio, and just amazing. But not only was she a student, she was part of the choir and performed often when our Cicely Tyson, our beautiful ancestor, traveled. And it's a family, it takes a village. So we do also have here with us Ty Phoenix, who is the mother of Safa. So, children go to school, parents get them there. And Safa and Ty is also an artist. And so I know that it's passed down in the genes. And we do have Jamal with us. And Jamal is a more recent member of the Respect team. And he is here to support Dr. George Faison. So I love it, just the fact that we have an intergenerational thing going on, because that's really important, especially now that we communicate and that we're able to make it happen. And we are one village and we are one family. So we also do have coming in Dr. Clarence C. Hoover, who was the superintendent of schools at the time, and he will join us shortly. But I'm just going to start with you, George. And if you would just let our audience know who you are, some of the things that you've done, and what your relationship is to the school. Thank you.
I don't think you left out anything. But
I'm sure I did.
I'm the artistic director. I built a theater in Harlem on 124th Street in St. Nick that I've had for the last 20 years. Akanke, Reverend Rhonda, has been one of my collaborators for a very long part, a great deal of that time in mentoring students in the tri-state area through the, what is that? I'm trying to think of HAI, Hospital Audiences Incorporated, which is where we first met, and the Respect Project, which was housed at the Faison Firehouse Theater. And we've nurtured poets, singers, dancers, artists. We were able to take a lot of the people that were not really doing anything. In this world that we grow up in, there are going to be a lot of people that don't know you. As an artist, it has been our duty and our task to let people know who we are. And so I danced, I choreographed, I danced with Alvin Ailey. I've done, so many things. I staged Earth, Wind and Fire, Ashford and Simpson, Dionne Warwick. You gotta just, if we're gonna say anything, prepare the world for your coming. And that's what Cicely Tyson did. She prepared the world for what we were gonna see and what we had come to expect as excellence in our Black women. And she was there making a school. The campus is actually incredible because it houses music, art, dance, all of those things. And I had particularly a great collaboration with one of the music teachers, Norma. Safa, what is Miss Norma's last name?
Norma Jean Hughes. It was formerly Norma Jean Williams before she was married.
Yes, absolutely. And I found the most extraordinary kids. Cicely and the students, the faculty, the people that ran that made a space for those young people over there in East Orange to express themselves. So I felt really right at home when I went over there to teach a couple of times, visit a couple of times, and then to invite them to celebrate with me, and Dr. Howard Dotson and so forth, and all of those people at the Schomburg in New York City at 135th Street, their 85th anniversary. There were so many things that we created at the at the firehouse. And we were at that time delving into video and making virtual realities happen. So in that program that we created, the people from the students from the Cicely Tyson School did the singing, which was really excellent. All the Negro spirituals, all about patriotic songs and all of the things. They were incredible. That's why we must have these kinds of schools, because it gives our kids a leg up. And it's not just a leg up. We fulfilled their destiny. We owe them that. We are responsible to them and for them, so that they'll become some of the fighters that we need in this battle that we have for understanding, acceptance, and to the end, the end of racism and so forth. I am so proud of them this past summer. They've gone a step further than that with their Black Lives Matter movement. I stood under the tree in 1963 and heard Dr. King do I Have a Dream, because that's where I'm from, Washington.
Okay.
And I could go on.
We know.
But Stephanie, the Cicely is one of those pioneers. We've fought all our lives. Akanke, Reverend Rhonda is the same. Safa, your mother, the same. This has been a lifelong battle,
Absolutely.
a struggle to make that understanding. But Cicely has left us with so many lessons for life.
Oh, yes.
So I knew her, from when I first came to New York, and through Miles Davis.
All right now.
And so forth. So that's a whole nother story.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I'm sure everybody else has so much to say, but we go back a very long way. I was also a speaker for one of the graduations at the Cicely Tyson's School for the Performing and Visual Arts. But I'll let anybody else.
Okay.
Because we've got a lot of proof of the great work that she has done.
Yes, absolutely. And Dr. Clarence C. Hoover has just joined us very befittingly. And Clarence, we have, Dr. Hoover, we have with us George Faison of the Respect Program and Firehouse Theater, and acclaimed Emmy Award and everything else. So he was just.
But you forgot the Tony Award.
Oh, and the Tony Award, sorry.
For the Wiz, okay. So right, okay. I won the Tony for choreography for the Wiz. I didn't mention that myself.
Okay. So George has really been sharing. He had great life journeys with our ancestor queen, Cicely Tyson. He was just speaking about being under the tree when we had Dr. Martin Luther King speaking, as he is from Washington, D.C. And also,
Chelsea, you can come on now.
HBCUs in the house. So Dr. Clarence C. Hoover, without further ado, I'm just going to have you introduce yourself and just share a little bit about your background. We have one of the students that's on with us, Safa. She attended and graduated. She is now a senior at the new school, and she was part of the little private choir, so she traveled with Cicely Tyson. We have Reverend Rhonda, McClean-Nur, Akanke, who worked with the Respect Program with Dr. George Faison. We have Ty Phoenix, who is a parent. She is Safa's mother. So I think we have the whole village, and we also have Jamal, who is a Respect Program student and is here to support Dr. George Faison. So we'll let you get started. Clarence, thank you so much for joining us. And this is indeed a family affair. I attended Lincoln University with my close friend, Clarence's wife, Teresa. And I mean, it's a long journey. Clarence attended Cheney. I'll let him, speak for himself. But I've known you since 17 years old, and I just always feel so proud and overjoyed when I see just all of my class members and all of my people just doing certain things. You know the people, but all the accolades, I mean, I'm just elated. So Clarence, please share with us who you are, whose you are, and your connection to the wonderful school. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry for being late. I had some technical difficulties.
Okay.
Good to see you again. It's been a little while, but good to see you again, sir. Let me start by saying I was a school administrator for about 33 of my 43 years in education. I was a school superintendent in South Jersey and North Jersey in several districts. But enough about me. I want to speak about Cicely Tyson.
All right.
I want to say that Miss Tyson came to East Orange and she brought a remarkable presence and grace and strength, along with a sense of agency and resiliency. She was a bad sister. Yeah. And people gave her the respect. She walked in the room and you knew you were among people who had, power and influence. But she loved education and she was very astute about making sure students did well in school. She talked about them being focused, staying on task, using their time wisely, and she demonstrated those things by showing her commitment to East Orange. Now, let me say something about East Orange. East Orange is an urban school district. We have, when I was there, about 11,500 students in 20-some buildings. It's not a rich district, but I wanted to give the students there the same kind of exposure that urban, suburban districts had in terms of quality of facilities. I was a superintendent in a place called Vineland, New Jersey, and I built 3 schools there. Okay. One of the drawing cards for me coming to East Orange was the ability to build 3 schools there. But the creme de la creme was the Cicely Tyson Community School of Performing Arts, because that was a pre-K through 12 building. I've never done that before. And I was thrilled to have the opportunity to build a pre-K through 12, which encompassed all of our students, regular, special ed, gifted, in one facility. I'm also proud to say that we built the facility downtown East Orange. We took 12 acres of prime land from the city and built this school. We built it in such a way that it would show that students, we cared for you. It showed also that Miss Tyson cared for them by coming to the school on a regular basis. She would come for her birthdays, she would come for graduations, and she would bring friends with her. And she would bring people to speak who had a love for children, had a love of imparting knowledge and sharing knowledge. We opened the school in September 2009. We had a grand opening, a ribbon cutting ceremony. And that time we had people that usually don't come to a school opening. We had the governor. We had representatives from the State Department of Education. We had community involved people to come, because this is a community school. And by that I mean, the school is there and open for a longer period of time than most of my schools were, so that adults and children can use the school after the school hours. That's the concept that we wanted to make sure that the community knew this was their school, not our school. It was our school together, which is very important. What I find most remarkable about Miss Tyson is her tough-mindedness was sometimes hidden within her refinement. Was never subservient, never subservient. Her intellect was remarkable, and you saw that in what she did through her career, performing to her 90s. Her intellect was remarkable. her memory was remarkable, and her demand for excellence was right there. I had to step up because I was around her.
Okay.
I use a phrase, good, better, best, never let it rest.
Go ahead.
So when I was around her, my best had to be one step higher. I had to do one more step because I wanted to make sure that what we presented for her and to our students was representative of the kind of person and character that she had. We believe so much in her because she believes so much in us.
Okay.
She's from Harlem, not from East Orange, New Jersey, but she took it upon herself to want to invest in the children and show them that people of her caliber cared enough to have an influence. Safi was in the traveling choir, and she can talk to you about those experiences because they were phenomenal. They were absolutely phenomenal, what she provided. But she also provided the kind of guidance and coaching that she would pull you close to her and talk to you. Okay. And let you know she was thinking about you. When we opened that school in September, we showcased it because it was the first in its kind in New Jersey. But to go one step further, we had what we call a grand ball opening. And Dr. Faison was there when we had a red carpet. We rolled out the red carpet and she brought some of her best friends in.
All right.
She brought in Mayor Dinkins.
Okay.
She brought in Lynn Whitfield.
Okay.
She brought in Angela Bassett. She brought in B.B. Winans. She brought in Faye Wilton. She brought in Ashford Simpson. She brought in Susan Taylor. She brought in Soledad O'Brien. She brought in Oprah Winfrey. Now, not to be left out, she also had Terrence Howard there too, who could sing and do some stuff. So,
Yes.
And George was there also, and we had a red carpet so that people came in and our students saw that people cared about them.
Yeah. Oh,
students saw that they could perform with, and our students performed with some of these stars. It was remarkable. Now, unfortunately, I can't sing. And I wish I could sing because I wanted to be up there singing with them also, but I have no ability to sing, so I know my lane. But she brought that kind of aura, and people respected her so much that when she called, people came. She called, people came from near and far to East Orange, New Jersey. Now, I don't think East Orange has ever had, or since I left, had that kind of array of talent in one place at one time, talking about Cicely Tyson and the students. I don't think that's happened before. I'm very proud of that, and I'm very humbled that I had a chance to meet her because she helped me understand really the word resilience. Because when we started this activity, there were a lot of people who didn't want to give us the amount of money we needed to have this building completed to its fruition. For example, some people wanted to give us regular pianos. I wanted Steinways.
All right.
A plain wooden floor. I wanted wooden floors that dancers use. Some people didn't want us to have mirrors around the room. I said dancers have mirrors around the room. I want that.
Yes.
All right.
TV studio. I said we need a TV studio so our kids can get trained both in front of the screen and behind the screen. So we got a TV studio. Some people said we don't need things like a fountain out front. I said we need a fountain out front to showcase that this is a gym for East Orange, New Jersey. So we had a fountain outside.
Okay.
There were a whole lot of folk who were pushing back saying, no, that's too much money. No,
and a parking lot.
And yeah, a parking lot.
Yes.
And we kept pushing and fighting. And I learned from her resilience because when people said no, I didn't understand no. I understand maybe and yes. No, I didn't understand.
Wasn't in there.
We kept on pushing, and that building represents what I hope is a salute to her and her excellence. We tried hard, and we think we accomplished a whole lot with that construction. We look at education. My background is curriculum and instruction. That's what I love doing, writing curriculum and developing instructional programs. We wanted to make sure that the programs at Cicely Tyson Performing Arts High School had the kind of curriculum that students could go out and perform or get a job or go to college. That was the foci for that activity. And we hope we were able to achieve that in a number of ways. Now, Cicely Tyson came to the school district before I got there. And we had a school that was old, had water problems, small, and not conducive for what I thought 21st century education ought to be about. That's why we started on this hunt to make this educational building worthy of our students and worthy of Ms. Tyson. We think we've done that, and I'm proud of what we've done. And I think it's still the model for a lot of people in these United States, not only New Jersey. Let me stop there and see if there's any questions you have. And Terry, I can extend my time because I got on late. So
okay. Thank you so much, Clarence. That was just an amazing historical piece, and just what you were sharing in terms of the resilience. And we need more school superintendents like you. I don't know, I don't have the authority to reach out, but New York City, we need you. We desperately need you, because in New York City, our student population, particularly here in Harlem, and for those of you who are just joining, this is Harlem Network News. I'm Terry Wisdom, I'm your host for today. And Harlem Network News is a new media platform. We started at the onset of COVID, and our initiative is to assure that the Harlems and the Harlems of the world are informed. And it's been a great journey, and we have been able to see how great the need is, because a lot of times our stories are not told. So I'm so grateful to have everyone on to celebrate Miss Cicely Tyson and all of her initiatives. And, you know, certainly there have been some wonderful programs on Gayle King on the day of the launching of Miss Cicely Tyson's book, you know, had something on CBS, BET, and CBS have done something in an aftermath with Gayle King also. I encourage everyone to watch it. Oprah Winfrey released something last night that had never been seen before. But I myself am just personally inspired by Miss Tyson. I didn't know her intimately, but I am a member of the Abyssinian Baptist Church, where I saw her often. She wasn't just like a member, she was there. Most people that go to Abyssinian Baptist Church attend church every Sunday. That is the church that was built by Adam Clayton Powell Sr. and brought that church up from downtown. A lot of people don't know that was shared today in terms of Black history by Dr. Reverend Calvin O. Butts. They're right next to where Abyssinia was built. That was where Marcus Garvey had his tent. So there was always a lot going on that block. And we produced the first Black congressman, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. And Cicely Tyson, the last interview that she did, it was in the church. She showed a pew with the gold plaque that she had set up for her mother. So she was a very serious member. And I want to go to one of the students at the school, Safa Ismel Muhammad, because the day in Women's History Month in 2018, when Cicely Tyson preached, and I mean preached, on the pulpit, she also had students from her school. And those students from her school performed. And Safa was one of those performing students at Abyssinian Baptist Church. And it's a little more than that, because you know there's always, what do we say, 6 degrees of separation among us. Safa's mom is on Thai Phoenix. She and my daughter went to Howard University together. So I remember Safa as a little girl, but when she performed, I didn't know that that was Safa. And I remember saying to my daughter, and I had my granddaughter, who's also now a senior at Howard, Sahar, I had her, there, because, when things happen of that magnitude, I wanted her to also be able to experience Cicely Tyson. And I was saying it was amazing performance. And my daughter said, oh, Safa, that's Ty's daughter. So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna let Safa speak for herself, because she is now a senior in jazz at the new school and done a bunch of incredible things. So just share your experience at the school and your experience with Miss Tyson, please. Thank you, Safa.
Hi, thank you again for having me. This is a blessing and all the things that are going on in our world. My name is Safa. I am 21 years old. I am a senior at the new school for jazz and contemporary music with a concentration in voice and audio engineering. I grew up in the pedagogy of music. I went to Washington Academy of Music, which was on Sanford Street in East Orange, New Jersey. And then I attended Cicely Tyson Elementary School when it first opened for 5th grade. And then I transitioned to the middle and high school and finished out grade school there. The world of Cicely Tyson is what introduced me to music. I didn't understand that I didn't want to do music at first, and I was in the middle of an environment that's based on music. My major was voice. I studied under Miss Jean L. James in her choir, and then I also transitioned into the high school choir with Miss Norma Jean Hughes, formerly known as Miss Norma Jean Williams. I wanted to do something else until I realized at the last minute that this is my life and this is what I was meant to do. And Miss Tyson was definitely a big influence on my transition into college and my career based around studying music and performing and creating music, especially going back to jazz, which was just wanting to learn more about my roots. And I could always consider jazz to be Black classical music. And that was our foundation. And that's where my inspiration for studying goes. Miss Tyson was my spiritual mother. I loved everything about her. There was so much that she just brought whenever she entered the room. It was like she would come to the school sometimes unannounced, but you would know in the energy of the school that she was there. Like something was up. You would notice everyone would just be up today or wearing nicer clothes and just cleaning the school. And like, we'd be like, oh, Miss Tyson's here today, isn't she? And she was just like, she had such a beautiful, big energy for someone of her size and her age. She walked as if she was 7 feet tall and as if she was just the biggest, proudest woman ever. And I love that about her because we were all her children. Whether some of the kids knew about her or grew up in that era of experiencing her media or not, we all were her children and she treated us that way. I was blessed with performing at the Kennedy Center Honors in 2015, where she was honored. And we surprised her with her song from her movie. This Is My Story.
Right.
Great spiritual. It was amazing. She didn't know we were going to be there. We performed with CeCe Winans and she was just elated. But the one thing I noticed about that performance was that she was sitting up in the booth next to George Lucas and Yo-Yo Ma and Michelle Obama and Obama himself. And the way she gripped his hands is exactly the way she would grip mine when she was at school. Wow. She treated everyone the same. Wow. She loved everyone the same. You know, she embraced you. It didn't matter who you were, what your status was, what your place, what you did. She was always welcoming. She'd welcome the little kids who come to the middle school. She'd give them hugs the same way she would just hug Obama. It literally, we were all the same in her eyes. None of that mattered. She always spoke from her heart. She spoke at my graduation with Miss Felicia Rashad as our guest speaker. They spoke hand in hand together. she would always just tell us how proud she was of us. She'd show up to our plays. We did The Color Purple, which sold out 4 times at our school, and she would always show up, and we have like the front row roped off for her, and she'd show up to the Nutcracker performance that the dancers would do, or she'd show up to the biggest events when we changed our name in the school, and we just had all these beautiful events, and she would just be there with her crew, and her staff would always be there, but they were always like family. They didn't seem like they were working with her. They seemed like they were just like in a family with her. And I loved her so much. She always told me how proud she was of me whenever she got the chance to see me, especially at school. And she was very close with Miss James and with Miss Hughes. And I just remember her speeches and how she would always, always go into detail about the importance of just being proud. And she also valued motherhood and carried that with her in her spirit and energy when addressing people. She felt like a mother. She was a mother. She's a big influence into why I do what I do now. She's amazing. And it was heartbreaking to hear of her past and her transition, but I'm so glad that I had the chance to meet her and work with her and be under her name as my alma mater. And I carry that with pride as I go into different rooms. I had no idea that I would be seeing her at the Women's Day Abyssinian. I was not chosen by her. I was chosen working with Miss Charlotte Smalls, who formerly directed the choir. And Miss Tyson was there, and it was just very full circle. So I found myself gravitating towards that energy. And I really do cherish the moments that I've had, and I'm blessed to be under the name of the alma mater. So yes, just very briefly, the experience at Tyson, I'm very blessed for all of the aspects that we had. Dance room, the TV studio, we had our animation rooms were full of opportunities for children. Art rooms were full of canvases. We had our own museum, which was next to our 800 and 400C auditorium. Wow. But the museum was full of our art. So it let us know that our art is just as important as the MoMA or any other prestigious classical music. Any classical pieces, our art was always valued at that point. I think that it was just a beautiful environment to be with, surrounded by people my age who were also aspiring to do music, and we were all working collaboratively. I was at school from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night, doing everything,
Community school.
Yes, after classes, I'd be in the auditorium. I was painting, and we had a scene shop where we would build our own sets and props for our plays with Mr. Carlson, who worked back there and would work with tirelessly. We do it, whether you were performing or singing, we would be painting, we would be helping with lighting, we would be helping with the script. We did it all because we loved what we did, and it became like more than after school. It was just like a small community, and I was very blessed to be working with people of color who really appreciated the development of working with children and wanted to see us grow in our craft and showing us that we deserve to be artists and that we're able to make a living off of being an artist by living it. So it was a very beautiful experience. I carry that all throughout where I go. I tell everybody about my experience at Tyson, and I still keep in contact with all of the children now. We were just talking about our tribute to her, what we were going to do.
Okay, that's coming. That's coming, I'm sure.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am completely moved. And this is Harlem Network News. I'm Terry Wisdom, and we are here with a tribute to our new Queen Ancestor, Cicely Tyson. And we are speaking about the incredible school that was her school. Safa just spoke. And we know that Cicely Tyson is here with us in spirit. We know that she has indeed left such a great legacy. You can hear that in Safa's voice. And even for myself, just watching and listening to Miss Cicely Tyson, and this is Harlem Network News, and we're coming to you live. But this week, I have been feeling so empowered. I have been feeling so powerful. I have been feeling so calm. And that is from listening to Cicely Tyson's interview on the BET CBS thing with Gayle King. There were so many takeaways. I haven't read the book yet, but there were many takeaways. And I'm going to be brief, but the one thing that I heard her saying, she's like, what do Black women need? That was the question. And her answer was, Black women need cayenne pepper, they need a lot of money, and they need a quiet place. And so this week, as I've been doing my work, I've been quiet, I've been in my quiet place, and I've been getting it done. So that's what I got from her. And I know that the book, I'm in the Abyssinia Book Club, and I haven't got my book yet because it's out of stock now, but I know from the little bits of the book that I heard that she had orchestrated this. This is information and what she's given to us to go forward. Very powerful and very empowering. So I can't explain it, but I have a new calm, a new way, a new do in her transition. I'm going to go briefly to Ty Phoenix just to really have her follow her daughter. She was a parent at the school. What was that like? How did you end up to choose Ty? And I know that you're an artist, and Howard University, we were all over there with the group Soul Food Symphony. But just tell us what the parent experience was, because we are a village and it's a holistic thing, especially for people of color. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me. This panel is so important because just the richness as far as the Harlem legacy, I can just feel it in the passion in everybody's discussion. Everybody is so, passionate and emotionally connected to the history and legacy of Harlem. So I'm just like gloating in that. Safa really summarized, her experience. She was saying, she, beyond being a high school student, she transitioned from elementary to middle to high school, right there when the Cicely Tyson school situation sort of began in East Orange. And I'm, as an artist myself, I definitely heavily support the importance of the arts in life, in education and in life, both. So it's just great for your just overall development of who you are as a person. Safa, was so entrenched in the school community, not just as a student, but just really the school ran, it ran through her blood. Like she said, that she was there 8 o'clock in the morning and left sometimes 8, 9 o'clock at night, just because of just how much of an integral role she played in the school, as far as all the productions, all the music productions. I mean, Cicely Tyson school, everyone knows from being a student in school at one time in your life and from having children who attended school, every school has plays, every school has holiday productions. It's just par for the course when you're in school. But Cicely Tyson school, it was the production, the plays, the year-end extravaganzas. It was a whole nother level of talent, a whole nother level of just amazingness as far as just the way everything was put together. The talent, I'm sure Safa could explain it even better than I can, just the exhibition of the talent, the quality. Sometimes you forgot that you were actually watching a high school or middle school production. And I really feel that, like you may, maybe off Broadway, on Broadway, that's the quality that you would see. And I know that Miss Tyson's presence, like just if you're performing on a stage and you're 16 years old, in the 11th grade, and you look up, lights over your head, curtains pulled back, and you look out and you see Cicely Tyson in the front row. That's an experience, like I said, hypothetically speaking, if you're a 16-year-old 11th grader, but that's an experience that most dancers, singers, or thespians don't get, that are 2 times, 3 times that age, to look up and see someone who was such a key figure in shaping Black art, you know, shaping Black theater, Black Hollywood, you know, just all of that. The music, like I said, the thespian world, even being an activist, you know, just
activist, very important.
simultaneously being not only a theater figure, but a political figure, a community leader, an inspiration in all of those different modalities. Like that is really a major feat. So I'm going to be super transparent when I say that I always knew the impact that Cicely Tyson had upon just Black culture. You know, I saw an interview just where she was expressing how she was just, it was radical to wear her hair in a way that, you know, was individual and unique and natural for her at that particular time. I saw an interview recently, but that was revolutionary within itself. So she was a cultural representative, you know, and along with being a community representative and then being in Hollywood. How many people, not only do they get to live to be 96, but how many people get to simultaneously be an impactful leader in Hollywood for Black people, but in the community at the same time as a cultural representative, you know, as an inspiration to women. Just that's a lot to cover, and definitely for almost 3 centuries. I mean, for 1 century, excuse me, I'm thinking decades. 1 century. We're not gonna make her 300 years old. 100 years old. One century. I mean, that's an incredible lifetime. That is almost three centuries in one lifetime. That's multiple lifetimes, you know, in almost 100-year span. And you just have to celebrate somebody who was blessed enough to have that life experience and then to impact us, you know, where we're here sharing these stories and these accounts today. Now, you think about, you know, Terry, like you think about successful actors or actresses in Black Hollywood or just community figures. Many of them don't go on to have schools. Many of them don't go on to have art-based schools, you know, performing arts schools. So I say that I highlight that to make the point that she didn't have to do that. She really didn't have to be affiliated, you know, with education, music education, performing arts education. So the fact that she took on that role to be the lead. I have, like, I don't know, I put on my Instagram the picture I snapped of Miss Tyson and Felicia Rashad at Safa's graduation. I literally was standing there frozen. So I said, this is gonna look crazy. They're talking to one another, but I'm gonna stand right in front of them and snap this picture because Felicia Rashad and the Cicely Tyson sharing a moment in awe of one another. And I'm standing there watching in awe of both of them. And I'm glad I usually don't take chances like that because I'm concerned about how I'm gonna look. Like I'm gonna, but at that moment, that was a rare moment. I did not care and I'm glad.
Right, yeah, we have to, we really, this is Harlem Network News. I'm Terry Wisdom and we're here sharing about our new ancestor, Queen Cicely Tyson. And there's just a wealth of stories and information and guidance for us. I mean, I'm inspired. I feel I'm an elder at this point, but here in Harlem, we have elders, well, we have seniors, then we got seniors, and then we got seniors. So we have a lot of people that are 90 that are running and dealing like Miss Tyson was. We really do. And I'm just inspired because I do also remember when I think that Miss Tyson told her mother when she was getting ready to become an actress, and she said, well, at least it's something that I could do till I die, you know, and she did, and she did. So I'm inspired because I'm feeling like what I'm doing, I'm gonna keep on doing it, and that's where we are, and that's where we all are, the resilience. Reverend Rhonda, do you want to just share a few words about your experience going to the school with the Respect program and what that was like and the kinds of things that you and George, Dr. Faison worked on and just what happened? I know you took the Respect program there and did performing and interaction. So please share. Thank you.
Greetings, everybody. And thank you, Terry, for having me on with the Honorable Dr. Joyce Faison and Dr. Hoover and Miss Phoenix, who I haven't seen since she was in Soul Food at Howard, my alumni, and Miss Safa. So inspired to be amongst you all today. My experience with Cicely Tyson started when I was a young person, when I was 14, in a program in Washington, D.C. with workshops for careers in the arts, where we didn't have a school at that time, but we had a program that Mike Malone and Peggy Cooper Caford started so that young people in Washington, D.C. who wanted professional careers in the arts. And it was underwritten by George Washington University, and then it became Duke Ellington High School for the Performing Arts. So I was introduced to Miss Tyson at that time. And from then on, when I first saw her perform in Sounder and Miss Jane Pittman and all the things that she was amazing in, as an actress myself, and a person that was about teaching and educating through the theater, and particularly teaching and educating Black youth through the theater, that I would not take on any roles that did not uplift and dignify us as women and as a race. And she held that all the way through her career. And I have been inspired by her, as I said, since I was 14 or 15. When I met and worked with Dr. Faison with the Respect Project, which he began, and my daughter, like Ty, I had a daughter who was in the arts, and she was a dancer, like Mr. Faison, and she was in she got in the Respect Project. And I said, they both have similar personalities, and he is going to kill her, or she is going to get put
Kill
out.
me, or kill me. Yeah.
If I don't participate in this program with them. And they are both, I mean, the training that we did with young people in the Respect Project, where they utilized their voices to say how they felt about life, and he put it together into a performance program with spoken word, dance, theater, and song. And we did that for over 20 years. And when the Cicely Tyson School opened, we were there for the opening. Some of the Respect participants performed. And then again, we went into the classrooms at Cicely Tyson School under Miss Norma, who was the choir director. And we were invited there, and our Respect participants performed their spoken word and their songs and their dances. And the young people were amazed at them.
Amazing.
And so when they had their opportunity, and Dr. Faison can speak more on it, when we asked them, we said, well, now we want you all to share with us too. And they were so shy. When they got up and started singing or acting or doing, we were blown away. They were blown away by our students, but we were blown away by them. And we knew right then. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I was just amazed at the overall curriculum, the level of competence from the administrators, the teachers. I mean, everyone, the custodians, the building was immaculate. Yes. And what they were doing in there was incredible. Every kid in America should grow up like that. Not just the privileged, but all of our kids especially should have that kind of experience and be mentored by those kinds of people that have that kind of influence in our communities. They should see them. They should know that they exist, that we have the power to do all of those things. It's just incredible.
And the people that Miss Tyson and Dr. Faison introduced the young people to, like Ty was saying, Felicia Rashad, this one or that one. We took Respect to the National Black Theater Festival. And stayed with Dr. Maya Angelou. That experience, those young people speak about to this day, and they are inspired. And when they try to give up or get hopeless or whatever, they look back on those experiences, seeing people who look like them, making it in the world in their own way, and having struggled, but making it and doing something for other people. So I don't think
I think we're having a little bit of
Audio.
yeah, a little bit of audio phasing, Akanke. I'm gonna go back to
ever
Dr. Hoover.
about the
Can you hear us, Akanke? Can you hear us?
Arts?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you were phasing just a little bit. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, you were phasing a little bit. We know that we're dealing in a virtual world, and we're overcoming that at all times. And we're grateful.
I just wanted to end by saying that the impact of the arts for our young people is relative to their survival. And we need to continue to push the arts in the schools, after school, wherever we can, getting our young people involved to express themselves so that they can see and hear something more than wherever they are. That's all I want to say.
And the doctors and the superintendent, it's like, if you weren't at the helm of all of that, running that, making sure that you demanded everything that we should get and everything that we needed in order to be competitive in this kind of world. Not just the stories of how you struggle, but to prepare them for the battle.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much.
So, Dr. Hoover, would you just share a bit more, just in terms of where are things now with the school? I know you're not the superintendent there now, but what's happening, and you know, what can we as a community do to assure that this continues? And we would actually love to see this replicated. I mean, I think we need the Cicely Tyson School of Art and Performing Arts right here in Harlem. I mean, it's totally needed. And I think that it would make a difference, because we're in a school district,
Huge difference,
particularly, that is 99.9%, you know, Black and brown kids. And we here are getting, and it's not a secret, we are getting a separate and not equal education. Okay, and it's appalling. So if you would just speak to that, Dr. Hoover, thank you.
Let me say three things about that. Number one, as you know, Terry, I retired 3 times.
Okay.
And that meant that, you know, now I'm living in some place called South Carolina, so that I wouldn't have to retire a 4th time, because people kept calling me back to work. And I enjoyed what I did. But at some point you got to pass the baton.
Hey, yes. Hey, you. Hey, yes. I'm sitting in Winston-Salem right now.
Really? Yes. Okay, we need to talk after this.
We will, see? Right. Wow. Akanke, pack your bag.
A couple things. We need to
We're passing the baton to Jamal and Safa.
There you go. I agree.
Yes.
We need to be, as a community, be aware of who's on our school boards. We need to be aware of our influence or influencing them to make movements around curriculum and instruction that are focused on students. I remember one of my largest debates in being a superintendent was raising the grade point average for sports. In New Jersey, you need a D average to play sports. I thought you should have a C average at least to play sports.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Here.
I
Absolutely.
went to the board and said, we're going to raise the standards. We're not going to go by the New Jersey state standards. We'll go by our own standards and raise it to C for playing.
Mhm.
Well, I got a lot of pushback about that. So I had to phase it in. It took me 2 years with having people understand we needed study halls for our athletes, just like we have study halls for other academic programs. We needed study halls for those also. So staying on top of who your school board members are is important. Number 2, staying on top of your superintendent. He or she should be representing you and your students. And you have an obligation to keep their feet to the fire. I used to make house calls. I was one of the few superintendents who would go visit students who were having some problems. And since I grew up in North Philadelphia, I didn't mind where I went to say, hey, your son or daughter is not doing what they need to be doing. And that kind of a demonstration of compassion went a long way. When I try to have budgets that were problematic, parents came out in support of me and what we tried to do. The last thing I'm gonna say in that area is that you have to have grit. You have to have grit and
Yes.
passion to accomplish a top level goal through perseverance. A lot of times we give up. The door is shut and we say, okay, the door is shut. The door is never completely shut if you keep on pushing. If you stop pushing, then the door is shut. You cannot stop pushing. You have to be a force among yourself, you have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in your cause, and keep on speaking truth to anybody who will hear. And I'm proud of the students who were there who demanded excellence. Now, Washington School was 100 years old. It needed to be torn down. So we tore it down. In essence, because we needed to do something that would show our kids you don't need to be in a 100-year-old building. As I said, the other Tyson school was in deplorable shape also. That's why I pushed so hard to have new construction in East Orange. And we got 3 new buildings in East Orange while I was there.
Thank you, Clarence.
So stay focused, stay hopeful. Terry, I'm going to have a 5:30.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody, it's been a blessing and pleasure.
Okay.
Good luck to your graduation, young lady, and hang in there. Blessings.
Okay, thank you.
Is that 5:30 with the Super Bowl? You ain't fooling nobody.
Get him, George.
I have a fraternity meeting.
Okay.
Right.
A fraternity Super Bowl meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Clarence, we appreciate you.
I'll be in touch.
Okay. I'll put you guys together. And it's ironic because on the flyer, when I was sent the picture with Clarence and Miss Tyson in the robe, and I looked at the person behind, and that was
me. I know, I realized.
And I was like, wait a minute. So, that's how God works.
Absolutely.
That's how God works. Yeah. So thank you so much, Clarence. And I'm so proud to have known you and all the accomplishments. And I know you're retired, but we may reach out to you to do some consulting right here in Harlem. I'm on Community Board 10 and we need some help. So
thank you.
Proactivity.
Blessings, everybody. Blessings.
Okay. Blessings. Thank you, Clarence. Okay. Jamal, you haven't had an opportunity to speak. And I'd like you to share, we're keeping this intergenerational. Jamal is a member of the Respect Program. So if you'd like to just give some reflections, I know you did not go to the Cicely Tyson School, but you're a part of the circle. So if you'd just like to say a few words, I know you're here to support. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Terry, for welcoming me to the space and all for allowing me to just be present and share and celebrating our sister queen and ancestor, Miss Tyson. I'll be brief. I had the privilege of performing with the Dance Theater of Harlem, where Miss Tyson was a founding member of the board. And as you all have attested to, you know, she's just not a member who, you know, just gives monetarily and that's her contribution. But no, she was actually very, very active and present within the creative process as well. And she showed up every year. She was at, you know, every gala and at rehearsals, and every single time that she stepped foot into the space, it was a bar of excellence that was set before, again, you even knew that she was going to be in that space.
Okay.
And not only that, but she, in every encounter, no matter if you were a student at the, you know, in the school, to a company member, to just a member passing on the street who got an opportunity to say hello before she got into a car, she treated you with a sense of tender compassion and held you to the same excellence that she would hold her peers, Felicia Rashad or George Faison. And so that in itself instilled that you are enough, and that you can hold that magnitude and that throne or that threshold of being that excellence pioneer within our community, regardless of if you're on the screen or, you know, just in your daily community doing that work. And so I just, with you all, salute her and just share in that joy and excellence that she has contributed to this existence and to our diaspora.
Yes, thank you so much. And this is Terry Wisdom. We're going to wind up and wind down. But this has been quite a journey. And as my partner suggested, he says, you're not just doing one show on Miss Cicely Tyson, aren't you going to do the series? So, you know, I think we will have to look at different aspects. This is Harlem Network News. We are a new media platform, and we started at the onset of COVID. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, harlemnetworknews.com. And you are our audience, our PR people, our financial support, everything, because something like this is heavy lifting. A lot of our media is gone. You know what I'm saying? So Harlem Network News is here to be the HNN, to give the stories, to say the backstories, to get the political people on, to get the Black doctors on, to get the people who can make a difference in the community. That is what we're doing. And it's not easy. I'm not deterred. You know, we're looking for staff. If you can write, we're looking for stories. You know, if you have story ideas or if there's something that happened in your community, please reach out to us. You can reach out to us at Harlem Network News at gmail.com, or go, you know, straight to our Facebook page, Instagram. We're on everything, and we really need to expand our base. I think we have incredible content, but it's about really getting it out there. The same way people are watching CNN or whatever else they're watching over and over again, and the people are saying all the same things. Well, we have something to say. And a lot of times our people are not getting to speak. Even our Congressman Esfiard, he comes on often. They give him a minute, but he can come on here, as can, you know, our illustrious Assembly members, Inez Dickens, and all of the great people, our doctors. We have phenomenal people in our community, phenomenal stories. Our stories must be told. And that is how we will change the paradigm, which we must change. So I'm going to just let everybody do Cicely Tyson reflection. If there's something personal that you would like to share, and you know, just what your takeaway is. And I'm going to go start with Safa, and it'll just be a brief personal thought and memory that you experience that is helping you to go forward and do what you have to do, because that's why I feel she was here, to motivate us, to show us, and for us to keep going. Okay, she kept going. We got to keep going. No matter what the age is, keep doing it. And be resilient and keep pushing. Like Clarence, Dr. Hoover said, you know, if the door is never closed, keep pushing it open. And once you get it open, you hold that door open for somebody else. That's what we must do as people of color. So Safa. I think you're mute. Okay. You got
Yes.
it.
Okay. I think a personal memory, I've shared a couple experiences, but I think my personal memory with Miss Tyson that I guess keeps me going is one performance. We were performing during graduation. She was sitting next to me and the other, my principal, Felicia Rashad, all the other guest speakers that were there. And after performing our song, because we had created a song for our graduation, before she was ushered out, she came over and gave us all a hug, and it was like, you guys are amazing, you guys are talented, and she was just elated. It was as if I was her and she was me, you know. So it was just, I found that so baffling that she was just like, wow, like, keep going. And I was just like wow, okay, like, but I think those experiences are very inspirational to someone who is aspiring to make this their career and work with children. I am currently a co-director for Vibe Songmakers, which is a small program that allows Black girls ages of 14 through 21 to aspire to become songwriters and musicians. And I talk to my children the same way I talked that I would want anyone to talk to them or anyone to talk to me. And I learned that from her, that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, and I learned that even from the moment of her with Mr. Obama and our former President Obama, and the way she would interact with me and us, that no matter who you are, what you do, you are worthy of being appreciated for what you can contribute to our society, what you carry within yourself. You know, you are enough. And I think that just going to a school where our work was the center of our life, you know, our creations were the center of our life, is a beautiful experience. You know, we weren't experiencing anyone else's art. We were creating our own art and appreciating our own art and learning to gain our self-confidence through that. I'm very, very grateful for that. And I talk to my children every day, and I'm like, you guys are amazing. You know, they're scared to sing sometimes, they're scared to write, or I'm not good enough, or my songs don't sound like this, or my songs don't sound like, you know, I want to sound like Beyonce. And I'm like, you sound like you, and what you contribute is something maybe Beyonce can't even do. And that's okay, because your individuality is meant to be expressed. You know, you don't have to be at the pinnacle of success to be an appreciated artist. And that's the biggest message I've gotten from her spirit, from my interaction with her, from being under her alma mater and everything. And I'm very grateful to pass that on to others, even through what I do now. Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And we'll look for you to send me the information. What's the name of your organization again? For
the organization is Vibe Theater. We have different divisions. I am in the Vibe Songmakers program, which is from February to June for young girls.
Okay, and where's the Vibe program?
It is based in, I think, either they have two locations, Brooklyn and Harlem.
Okay. Okay.
So it's run by all Black women. They also have spaces for Black women that are LGBTQ. They provide those for young children as well. And it's run by amazing all Black female staff that are just dedicated full-time to helping these children after school, especially in the virtual world. They would provide music spaces, rehearsal spaces, studios for the children, professional studios, and they work in just helping them gain their confidence as musicians.
Okay, well, thank you. We'll have you put that in the chat so we can share that with people. Ty, briefly, do you have a special moment? Ty Phoenix, you're mute. Just a brief special moment, and we're going to close out with you, Dr. Faison. So we're going to close out with you after. Go ahead, Ty. We're not there yet.
One of the standout moments for me was at that same ceremony. Safa was speaking of graduation ceremony. I mean, graduation is a milestone, right? It doesn't happen often. It's a special moment. So I actually, you know, in the audience, got the speech Cicely Tyson's speech that she gave at the graduation, the commencement speech, and seeing her there in the gown, the cap and gown. She had a cap and gown on at that event. You know, she was doing the speech for the graduates, and I remember looking at her, thinking to myself, she just can't be 90 whatever. That's all I ever thought. You know, when I looked at her, when I would see her at any of the events, but particularly that I saw her with the cap and gown, and she was just so spry in the way in her movements, you know, reading people, talking. And I'm like, I hope like she dispels all of the myths and all of the stereotypes that people say about extremely elderly people. She's, you know, so I remember seeing that, and then of course, like I said, which I do have on tape, and being in the moment, I wasn't so consumed with her words, her message in the moment because I was recording. But when I look back on it last week, because you know she passed away, and I look back, because that's an important thing about memories. You don't always have to, you know, watch it in the moment, but when you have captured it and you can watch it at a later date, then you get the message and the purpose. So I watched it and I listened to the speech, and she said in this speech, never forget who you are. So, you know, again, this was her graduation years ago, about 4 years ago. I didn't pay attention then, but I watched it now. And as long as you capture it, when you're supposed to get that message, you'll get it. So that's a recent memory, because with her being transitioned and passed on, but the memory of me getting the graduation speech and now really internalizing that message, because it applies. I'm sure it applies to everyone.
Absolutely. And this is Harlem Network News. I'm Terry Wisdom, and we've had an amazing session. And one of the takeaways that I got last night when I was listening to the interview with Oprah that hadn't been, you know, ever shown before, the powerful thing that our Queen Cicely Tyson said was that, you know, of course, she was very careful about what she did and how it portrayed us as a people. And she was even more careful about what was on film, because she was like, one of the things about film is that it'll be seen forever. You know what I'm saying? So I think like what you're saying is very, very significant, because it's on the world forever. And particularly now, you know, once it's done and said, it's there, it's imprinted. So I think that that's very, very significant. I want to, Jamal, did you want to say a few words, or otherwise I'll go straight to Dr. Faison, because did you want to say something, Jamal, in terms of the personal experience that you had?
Just my biggest takeaway from Ms. Tyson was that as a Black creative, we represent something far greater than ourselves. And it's important not only that we recognize all of the giants before us, but that we take space and are accountable in our contributions and pushing forward that narrative. And so, again, just to celebrate and salute her, and not only raising the bar and holding the bar, but lifting each and every one of us through her works, through her activisms, and through her just very existence, in affirming that we can and we will, and that we are just as deserving and capable of achieving those heights.
Okay, thank you, Jamal. And George, Dr. Faison, I'm going to come to you, and I'm going to let you close us out. And I do have a little montage that I will share the screen, but I will do that at the end. But could you just share like something very significant and personal? And I know she was a private person, so I don't mean like piercing the private veil, but just who was she? What was work? I know that she was close with so many of our actors and actresses and musicians. What was that like? What was that bond? How did you all come through? Because I think that's very, very significant.
I think you come to this world with a mission. God blesses you with a gift. And I think that you have to look at the gift that he is going to impart with you, and you've got to work on it. You've got to hone it. You've got to perfect it. You've got to understand and look to other people. You've got to develop the empathy for somebody other than yourself. It is beyond us what is good or bad, but we run into it every day. How you interact with all of that is how is a measure of our success. But when you can find it and you can go beyond yourself and reach down to that person or reach across the room or reach up or wherever and affect one of these children, turn them around, guide them, encourage them. We can be more like her spirit and live every bit of life. It's out there for us.
Mhm.
And what we want to do, especially with, what is that, Safa? I mean, I'm so impressed.
Yes.
You are our future. Cicely Tyson recognized that. Sharing that future, with gifts that you have that we weren't maybe blessed with, sharing them, opening up to you, because we've carried you this far. And now it's your time to carry us. She joins the ancestors because her work has been finished here. We pick up the mantle and we go forward with Cicely.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think that that's extremely appropriate. And, I know that she did close her interview with what do you want people to remember? And I believe that she said, I want them to remember that I've done my best. And that's what it was. That's what it is. And now it's for us to pick up the mantle. I'm going to share my screen. There's just a little montage of some of the Cicely Tyson experiences. Yes, sir.
But is Mama Akanke going to give us one of her?
I wish she was, because Mama Akanke is off. She's not here.
But people, God bless you. God bless and keep you in your journey and keep you inspired, onward, upward, forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to share this montage. Dr. Faison is speaking about Mama Akanke because she's usually a great closer with a poem or something or the other, so that's happening in spirit. And, Safa, certainly, not putting anybody on the spot, but if there's something you want to share, poem, song, you can do that too. No spot though. So.
Sing something.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything, something that, we could remember in a verse or anything.
Okay. I'll sing the song that we sang at the Kennedy Center Honors. I was not expecting to sing that. Yes, Blessed Assurance.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, okay, yes, amen.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of his spirit, washed in his blood. This is my story.
Come on, folks, let's go.
All right.
This is my song.
Praising my Savior
all the day long. This is
my
story.
story. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Amazing grace.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Safa. Thank you, George. You're the instructor. Thank you. So I'm going to share the montage, but before I do that, and that'll close us out, I do want to just let people know that on Monday the 15th, our queen ancestor, our new ancestor, Cicely Tyson, will be lying in state at her church, at the Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem. The viewing is for members. It is for the public. It will be socially distanced. You must wear your mask, and it'll be from 10 to 6. So I just think that I'm heartfelt with that, as her being a member of the church. My condolences do go out to the family, a special condolence to her daughter, who I know, and she's a powerhouse as well. So God bless, and we will keep the memory, and you know, that is available. And I think that is a befitting salute to someone who was Harlem, is Harlem, and is all the Harlems of the world. It's just a high tribute. I do believe there's a funeralizing, but that is going to be private the next day. But I did want to share that with the community, and especially in this time of COVID and what we have gone through, to just be able to view one of our own is very, 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 very significant and heartfelt. So I wanted the community to know that, and we salute our ancestor, Cicely Tyson. She gave us a lot, and of course, we encourage everyone to get the book, just as I am, because I think that the rest of what she had to tell us is in the book. So let me share this screen, and I thank you all for just being a part. This has been incredible. So I thank you. It's what I was trying to bring. So I appreciate it. So I'm gonna share the screen. This is Harlem Network News, and this is our tribute to our great ancestor, Cicely Tyson. Many, many things. Beautiful. Amazing. This is her in Harlem. Yes. Rest in peace and pioneering icon. Thank you. That's Dr. Clarence Hoover and George Faison. Thank you.
I don't see it. Do I just cancel?
Such a liver of life, so strong, so proud. Cicely Tyson, beautiful, powerful.
I don't see it. On Facebook.
Okay, so thank you all, and it has indeed been quite an honor to be here with everyone. This has just been an incredibly amazing journey, and we appreciate you. And Cicely Tyson, rest in power, and thank you. This is Harlem Network News, and we thank our sponsor, New Harlem Coffee. You can go to newharlemcoffee.com, and they support us and help to keep us on the air. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a blessed and prosperous evening. All. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great to meet you, Jamal. Blessings, and glad to see you all.